Welcome to this module of the Reiki distance learning course, and in this one I'm going to talk about some of the more spiritual aspects of Reiki, and in particular the importance of meditation for grounding and protection. Now, if you remember back to what you learnt when we discussed the history of Reiki, you will remember that for Usui, what he was teaching was all about spiritual and personal development. The healing was a side effect. And you will also probably remember that he advised his pupils to meditate twice a day on the Reiki principles that he gave him. Now, meditation is now recognised as being important for all kinds of things. We know that basically meditation is really, really good for our health. And in that, Usui was actually quite ahead of his time, I think. But inevitably, meditation does lead to growth and development, and certainly an element of spiritual development. When you work with Reiki energy, that also enhances your personal and spiritual development. If anyone had told me back in 2007 that in 10 years' time I would consider doing psychic readings as part of what I did, I would have thought that you were completely out to play with the fairies, because quite frankly I thought all that sort of thing was an absolute load of rubbish. The fact that I now do it is largely due to what happened to me as Reiki helped develop me and as I developed my own Reiki practice. When you are working with Reiki, I think there are two things that are almost bound to happen. The first thing is that you will become increasingly sensitive to other people's energy. This is something I wasn't really aware of before, but the more I worked with Reiki, the more I got used to working with it, the more I realised how much I could sense. And the other thing that goes with that is that you will become more aware of people's energies with whatever you're doing. And that has a definite downside, because when you are aware of people's energy, their energy can get into yours, and that can lead to all sorts of problems, especially if they are giving out an awful lot of negative energy. Certainly when you are working with people to give them Reiki, by definition almost somebody who has come to you for Reiki is going to have something that could be affecting their energy in a negative way. And when you're working with them literally hands-on, as you do with Reiki, that increases the chances that you will become affected, or maybe even infected, by whatever it is that's going on with them. So, two fundamental principles that I was taught were the importance of grounding and protection. And these are both done with meditations and visualizations. Now, the meditations that I'm going to lead you through today are probably longer than you can conveniently do when you are with somebody. But the important thing is that you don't always need to do the full meditation. When you practice with the techniques, you'll find that all you need to do is just call to mind the images, and you can ground and protect yourself in less than 30 seconds once you're used to doing it and once you've practiced. So, right now what I would like you to do is get yourself nicely settled and comfortable. It can be sitting up, it can be lying down. I just want you to be comfortable. If you like, put some nice music on in the background. Meditation doesn't need music, incense, candles, or all those sorts of things. They can be nice for the atmosphere and they can help, but they're not vitally necessary. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to just focus on your breathing. Just gently and slowly breathe in, and then gently breathe out. And as you breathe out, focus on the idea of releasing all stress and tension. Just breathe in, breathe out, and relax. And then one more time, breathe in, breathe out, and just relax. Now, I want you to imagine that you are walking through a beautiful forest. It's peaceful and calm. Really try to make the images of the trees vivid. Or maybe you would prefer to be by the sea or by a lake. Make the images really vivid. Really build the picture in your mind of this beautiful place outside in nature. And wherever you choose to be, as you are exploring this wonderful place, you come across a seat. It can be made of wood, it can be made of stone, it can be carved out of rock. Doesn't matter. And I want you now, in your imagination, to see yourself sitting on that seat. And with your feet firmly planted on the ground, I want you to imagine that you can feel roots growing out of your feet, growing down into the ground. And as the roots grow down into the ground, I want you to imagine that you can follow them with your mind and see them in your mind's eye. Follow them as they grow down deep into the ground until eventually they come into contact with a crystal. I want you to see that crystal now. see what colour it is. It can be any colour. Just let your intuition give that crystal a colour. And I want you to see that crystal connect to those roots that you've sent down into the ground. And as the roots and the crystal connect, I want you to become aware of the fact that when you're connected to the earth, you are safe. You are protected. And any time you need to ground yourself, just stand or sit. Bring yourself back to this beautiful place. Imagine the roots growing down into the earth. And once again, feel those roots connect with that crystal. Now, I want you to gently and slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back to normal reality. As you do, I want you to continue to be aware how easy it is just to ground yourself. And if you still feel a bit spaced out after this meditation, then another good way of grounding yourself is to drink some water, maybe have a snack. Okay. Why is it important to ground yourself? When you do meditation or when you're doing anything with energy, it's very easy to get very, very kind of spaced out and live a little bit too much up here. And that's not good for anybody. So it's important to remind yourself of the connection literally to the earth that we live on. That image that I've used of roots growing from you down into the earth is, I didn't invent it, it's one that's very commonly used for grounding. You may be happy to stick with that kind of meditation that I've just done and that sort of image. You may, as you explore, find another one that works just as well for you. But the important thing is that you have an image that you can relate to this idea of grounding, because that literally keeps you rooted on the earth. Now, let's go on to the second issue, which is protection. Protecting yourself from someone else's energy is actually very important. You really don't want to pick up all their stuff, because if you do, then that's just going to make things bad for you. Now, again, as with the grounding meditation, I'm going to suggest a visualization to you that you may find works for you, or you may want to explore what other meditations you can find out there and find one that resonates more with you. but this one will at least give you a start. So, if you want to pause this video, go and take a walk around, or maybe even take a complete break from watching it and come back and watch it later, that's fine. I appreciate that I've just talked you through one meditation. But when you're ready, get yourself back comfy in your chair and just close your eyes and just take 2 or 3 gentle in and out breaths. And with every out breath, I just want you to imagine and make your body just relax. Maybe you can imagine yourself breathing out any stress or tension like grey smoke. But then I want you to imagine yourself in a theatre. The stage is empty. I want you to sit and look at the stage, and just for a moment I want you to think about who you truly are at your best. Maybe think of some real or historical or fantasy figure that you know represents you at your best, or is the person you would really like to be. Maybe you have someone in mind. It doesn't matter if you don't. If nothing has come to mind, that's fine. But now I want you to walk out from the stalls, and I want you to find the stairs that lead up onto the stage. And I want you to stand in the middle of the stage, looking out over all the seats. Every actor needs a costume. And I want you to look up into the roof of the stage now, and hanging up there you will see a costume. As you watch, this costume lowers down gently onto you and magically fits you perfectly. Take a look at what this costume is. And as you wear this costume, you know that you feel strong, protected, ready for anything. Walk about on the stage. See how this costume feels. Get used to it. When you're wearing this costume, you feel safe, protected, strong, confident, all those things that you need to be. But above all, you feel protected from whatever life can throw at you. Take a close look at the costume again. And then when you're ready, just see yourself gently holding out your arms so the costume can be taken off you. But as it drifts back up into the sky, you know that any time you need to feel protected, all you need to do is to bring that costume to mind, and it will be there for you. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to more normal reality. Maybe ground yourself using the roots visualization, or just have something to eat and drink. Now I must accredit David Wells with the idea of the magic costume. It's one I have used an awful lot since I became aware of it. My magic costume when I'm giving Reiki is a Victorian nurse's costume, which I know is my signal that I'm protected. It may take a few attempts doing with that meditation before your costume is completely secure, but that doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable with the idea of a magic costume, then an alternative one is simply just to imagine yourself sitting or standing inside light, maybe inside a column or an egg shape of light. And if it's an egg shape, maybe you can imagine anything negative just bouncing off the shell of the egg and bouncing away from you. There are any number of ways to ground yourself and protect yourself. There are a number of different visualizations that you can use. The key thing is that you practice with them and become used to it so that when you need them, you know that they're there. It used to take me about 3 minutes to get grounded and protected prior to giving a Reiki treatment, especially at the hospice. And with practice, I can literally do it like that. The moment I start to give Reiki, I just close my eyes. I imagine my costume coming on, and as my costume touches the ground, remember I said that it was a Victorian nurse's costume. The moment that the hem of the costume touches the ground, I know that that grounds me. You will come up with your own, but the important thing is that you do come up with your own, because this sort of protection is important. The written material that accompanies this video will expand a little more on why that's important and make suggestions for other possible images that you can use, and will also contain other possible meditations that may be useful, which you can maybe read out, record, and then play back to yourself to help yourself. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you for the next section of the course.